Hello and welcome to this lesson. Today we will be learning about clauses. The lesson objectives for today are that by the end of this lesson, you will be able to define a clause, and also you will be able to identify the two types of clauses. There is the dependent clause and the independent clause in a sentence. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. For example, the man ate a cream cake. These are many words together. It's a group of words. But if you can read it nicely, you can say, the man ate a cream cake. That makes more sense. But then we can see we have the subject, which is the man. Then we have the verb, which is it. All these words together make a clause. On their simple words, together they make a clause. A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. A group of words, subject, verb. Now, remember, the subject is the naming part. It tells you who the sentence is about. When you read the sentence, ask yourself, who is this sentence about? The person or thing the sentence is about is the subject. Back to clauses. There are two types of clauses. The first type of clause is called the independent clause, and the second type of clause is called the dependent clause. We will look at each one of them at a time. The independent clause. An independent clause is a clause that makes sense on its own or represents a whole idea. We can also say it can stand on its own. Is there anything you can be able to do by yourself? Maybe you can walk. You can finish your homework without asking for help. It means you are independent. Can you be able to plan and schedule your time properly? You are independent. You don't need help from anybody. Now, these sentences that are independent will give all the explanation within themselves, making them independent clauses. For example, the children are playing. You will know what the children are doing because you have the subject, the children, and the verb, playing. I can complete my homework. I, subject, complete, verb. Mary danced very well. Mary is a subject. Danced is a verb. I like the yellow cat. I is a subject. Like is a verb. And what do I like? The yellow cat. I hope you understand that now. Number 2, the dependent clauses. Now, the difference is a dependent clause is a clause that does not represent a complete idea on its own. Or we can say that it cannot stand on its own. It will need help of an independent clause to make the idea complete. It means that it's a group of words that do not make sense on their own. It will not explain to you what is going on. You will have questions in your head wondering what is the person talking about. For example, we have here with their grandma. Okay, so what with the grandma? What happened? You see, you don't know what happened. Without your help. Okay, at the party. What happened at the party? Now, if you find a group of words like this, that you will have questions in your head, it means that it is a dependent clause. It does not make sense on its own. But let's see what happens. For example, we had the children are playing. Do you remember that? And then with their grandma. Now the children are playing on its own up to here makes a lot of sense. And also, if we say with their grandma, it will still make sense as a whole. But separate, this will be independent clause, and with their grandma will be a dependent clause. On its own, it does not make sense. I can complete my homework. It can make sense on its own. Without your help, cannot make sense on its own. That makes this part, highlighted in red, a dependent clause. Mary danced very well. Up to there, it makes sense. It is an independent clause. At the party is another half of the sentence, which is a dependent clause. On its own, it won't make sense. But when we put all the words together, it will make more sense. Mary danced very well at the party. Did you understand? Thank you very much for your time. That is it for today with clauses.